This video contains major spoilers for Persona 5 Royal. Video games have some superb antagonists. The boss from Metal Gear Solid 3, GLaDOS from Portal, Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, or maybe even a group like the Covenant from Halo. But as soon as I finished Persona 5 Royal, I instantly knew that Dr. Takuto Maruki had entered into the pantheon of video game antagonists. I'm Ouroboros. Let's talk. There's a reason I've been saying antagonist instead of villain. It's a small distinction, but a very important one. Villains are characters who are evil. Antagonists are people who stand in opposition to the hero. All villains are antagonists, but not all antagonists are evil. And Dr. Maruki is as far from a villain as you can realistically get. He is a genuine, kind, and caring individual. He literally wants nothing but the best for everyone. That's why the third semester of Persona 5 Royal is so intriguing. You've spent the whole game fighting against objectively, morally horrible villains. So while Maruki is a drastic tonal departure from his predecessors, he's completely in line thematically with his predecessors. That's really reflected in the calling card. Usually it's a big, powerful moment when the palace ruler finds it, gets upset, and makes a big scene about it. They're massive narrative peaks for their respective story arcs, but for Maruki, it's understated and very matter-of-fact. He makes one last-ditch effort to convince you of his reality, and if you reject, you simply hand him the card, and he acknowledges it. P5R is all about freedom and rebellion. Maruki feels like a natural evolution to Yaldabaoth. The god of control just wants to, control everybody. He was born from the subconscious desire of humanity to give up their free will. We can all agree that succumbing to the prison of sloth is a bad thing, but accepting Maruki's actualization is a completely different story. Yes, you give up a lot of your freedom, but in exchange, all of your dreams will come to fruition. It begs the question, which do you prefer? The reality that you want, or the reality that you fought for? Because really, neither royal ending is bad. It's very different from other games in that sense. They both have objective pros and cons. To us Westerners, it may seem like one is definitely better than the other. Freedom and individuality are fundamental cornerstones of American culture, but in Japan, it's the exact opposite. Duty to society and the wellness of the collective are much more prevalent philosophical ideals there. So I think we need to keep in mind where this game was made. As great as Persona 5's worldwide success is, it's heavily designed for the Japanese market and influenced by its culture. Despite that, I have a hard time disagreeing with Maruki's reality. I think when people say that Maruki is no different than Yaldabaoth, they are grossly oversimplifying his viewpoints and missing a lot of the nuances of it. The credits of the stay ending are really emotionally conflicting. You've spent the whole game fighting for freedom, and giving in is inherently contradictory to the values that the Phantom Thieves stood for. But at the same time, the only reason the Phantom Thieves are fighting is because of the overwhelming injustice and despair that they've had to face. You're giving up your ideals, but in exchange, you get to see all of your friends living a happy life, the life they've always wanted to live, the life you've always wanted for them. There's really no right answer here, and what I like about Maruki's interactions with the Phantom Thieves is that neither one of them diminish the other's ideals. Maruki recognizes that he's playing God with humanity, but it's the only way he can fully eliminate pain. The Phantom Thieves don't want to run away from the reality and instead wish to face it head on. They both understand the other's viewpoint. Maruki never breaks down into insulting the Phantom Thieves. In fact, he begs and pleads with them during his fight to understand his viewpoint, and the Phantom Thieves acknowledge that a lot of people would benefit from Maruki's vision. I think that's what made me like Maruki so much. There's no big, grand villain reveal. His portrait doesn't suddenly change character like during the Akechi twist. He's just Dr. Maruki, the school counselor who's been listening to your problems, making a fool of himself at school assemblies, and bribing students with food. He's a legitimately good person with good intentions and morally gray actions. To me, those are the best antagonists. There's definitely a place for just evil villains like Bowser or Ganondorf, people who are just there to be the big baddie at the end of the game, but characters like Maruki, who get you to think and feel, always leave a stronger lasting impression. Because, to be completely honest, if Maruki were to offer that deal to me in real life, I don't know if I would be able to reject it. There's so much suffering in the world, and having a way to instantly snap that away, that's a really tough thing to turn down. I wonder if people want to reject it because it's a game. They want to see what's at the end. Maruki's fight and the final palace are some of the best gameplay P5R has to offer, but if that wasn't there, would you change your mind? And like his offer, there's no right choice. But this raises another interesting philosophical question. Does humanity need suffering? Do we need to be in pain? It certainly seems like a straightforward question. No, of course not. Why would we ever want to feel those awful emotions? But don't we need pain to grow? Without suffering, would we truly know what it means to be happy? Would being happy all the time diminish or dilute what it means to be human? But isn't the only reason we grow to better deal with that pain? I don't have the answer to any of these questions. Nobody does. It's just merely some of the philosophical discussions this arc brings about. Honestly, if I had a bigger audience, I would probably run a poll, but so is the life of a small, insignificant YouTuber, I guess. Dr. Maruki is an incredible character, an amazing antagonist, and never a villain. He holds fast to his ideals, but never attacks the beliefs of others. He was really the shining light of Roy. The last bit of his characterization is in the lyrics of Throw Away Your Mask. It's the song that plays during Phase 2 of his fight. These are somber lyrics, and it's a far cry from most final boss themes. Nobody wants to fight him, but they all want to fight what he stands for. As I'm wrapping this up, there's one more thing that I want to do. I don't know if this is appropriate or even remotely meaningful, but I'd like to dedicate this video to Billy Kometz. He was the voice actor of Dr. Maruki and many other game and anime characters. He unfortunately died from colon cancer on June 9th, 2022. I hope wherever he is, he's living a pain-free reality. He truly brought this character to life. Thanks for watching, and I hope you're doing okay, Billy.